And welcome to Pound Posse Presents. Zach's laughing at me. Why? He's wondering because I had a little delay. Did I remember the name of the show? He's not nice to me sometimes, ladies and gentlemen. He's just not. I know. Everybody feels sorry now, right? Anyway, so I had the most amazing day yesterday. You see me sharing the dogs from the town of Hempstead Animal Shelter over and over, and lots of them, lots of times I'll do it every week. And I've always said how much I really support the shelter and think the volunteers are just amazing. And it's always been something I wanted to do to get down there. But we all know that vehicularly I am a train wreck, and never really had the vehicle to take that 2.5-hour drive to get down there. And so it's been sort of, I don't know if I want to call it a bucket list, because it makes it sound like I'm on the way out, and we all are, but I don't like to think that it's imminent. But anyway, it's been on my list of things to do. Well, parallel the fact that, if you remember a few weeks ago, we paid tribute to one of my former birthday dogs, Leo, who passed away suddenly, who was one of the very first birthday dogs that I had put out, and my friend Kristen adopted him. He passed away, as I said, very suddenly, and then within the week, her other big girl, Lucy, passed away, and that hits really hard. Now, she had 2 littles, but I can attest to the fact that if you're used to having big dogs and little dogs, when you lose the big dog, I don't know, it's hard not to have a big dog if that's what you're used to. And there's really no prescription for timing after a loss. If you have a void that needs to be filled, there's no saying, oh, you have to wait an X amount of time before you bring another dog into your home. I wasn't trying to really wait a long time either. Of course, I never got my big dog, but we'll leave that alone for now. So Kristen had a void, and she really wanted the patter of big paws in her house again. And again, I can really relate. So she kind of started looking at some of the dogs at the town of Hempstead Animal Shelter. And the next thing you know, I got a message saying that she wanted to go and look at some of the dogs. Well, of course, I invited myself along, and she very graciously allowed me to come. So at very long last, I had a trip planned to go and meet people in person and to be of whatever help that I could be to Kristen and her husband John in their process. And got a picture of me outside the sign, of course. Zach? Yeah, you're not listening, because you could have had that sign up. So, on a windy, crazy day, which was yesterday, my hair was wrecked by the time I got out of the car practically. But it's all good because, I had to take that picture of, finally getting there. And who should be waiting for us but John Esposito, because he's awesome like that. If you remember when we had Murdoch on the show, it was all because, John made it happen. And, we've stayed friends, kept in touch. He and Kristen were talking about the potential dogs that, she could look at. So, this was that really kind of cool birthday doggy, Murdoch magic-y connection. And it was really already cool before we got there. So I'll take the camera back. More exciting stuff going on that I didn't know about. A young lady who had lost her 18-year-old cat, gotten out of the house for like only the second time, and all the time she's had the cat, been lost for months, and unbeknownst to her, was basically at the shelter, but being fostered by none other than one of my shelter buddies, Chrissy D'Angelo, because she's cool like that. You know, who wants to see an 18-year-old cat in a shelter? No, you're going to take it home and make sure it's comfortable. And I guess the cat had age on his side because nobody wanted to adopt an 18-year-old cat, which is kind of good because eventually the young lady, through some friends of hers, made the connection and found the posts of this cat online for adoption and realized it was her cat. So when we got there, you can put those pictures up, Zach. When we got there, the reunion was taking place in the lobby, which, you know, just like one of the coolest things ever. Fortunately, nobody adopted the cat, so she was able to get him back. And I think there's a couple pictures there now. And there's Chrissy and the kitty and his mommy who found him. And, you know, I've had a few stories in my time under my belt of, you know, animals that were maybe on the short list for the lethal vet visit, or, you know, involved in active adoption pushes. And, you know, an owner who really hadn't maybe known how to look finally caught up and found and was reunited with their pet. So that was a really amazing thing to, you know, that was going on, and, you know, just made me love everybody there more. I kind of like that. So anyway, taking the camera back, glad that there was that reunion because, you know, it's pretty special. And again, makes me love everybody even more. So there was a short list of dogs that, you know, Kristen kind of wanted to look at. And John had so graciously let Mike Whalen know that we were coming. And he is the gentleman that kind of does these things. You know, he tries to make those matches. And he was absolutely so amazing. You know, not only trying to think of the dogs that would fit Kristen and John's lifestyle, but, you know, that would get along with two little teeny older dogs that, you know, may or may not, like mine, be snarky and not want, you know, to have another dog in their faces. And her little dogs were troopers on this trip, trust me, because it's what you do, you bring your dogs. Mike just, like, he left no stone unturned. He was just incredible with the amount of time and effort that he spent. You know, there are kennel cards. There are notes on the kennel cards. You know, they're not a shelter that, like so many of them, you know, they're a name, they're a number, they're, you know, I don't know. When you ask questions about the dog, these guys know in such an amazing way, and through the notes for each interaction, you know, they'll make the notes. No, this dog didn't do well in this situation. The dog didn't do well in it's just mind-boggling how well they have their stuff together. You know, their commitment that the staff, the paid staff and the volunteers put into the care and the well-being and the right fit for a dog going home. So yeah, there were a lot of dogs getting kicked around, and I was fortunate enough to meet a great many people who I'd only been Facebook friends with. And I have to tell you, Alberta Hanko has become kind of my number one, where she'll just, she, you know, she gets the troops going, and she'll get, you know, make posts, you know, that I need dogs to put on the show, or that I was asking for dogs to put on the show, and she gets everybody to respond. And then she's amazing at sharing the show to get it out there. So it was really cool. She took the time out of, you know, her own personal life to come down to meet me. But everybody's just, they're such a well-oiled machine. It's amazing. I got to meet all these people that, like I said, you know, were just names on Facebook and pictures and stuff. And it just all came to life. They are amazing at what they do. They care about the dogs. They love the dogs. The whole time we were there was never not somebody walking the dogs. They have volunteers that come in. And trust me, that's a huge undertaking. They have over 100 dogs. They are full to the rafters. They have, you know, cages in the hallway because the kennels are so full. And they deserve the adoptions. They care so much. They take such good care of these animals. They deserve to have, you know, that boost of adoptions and to see the dogs that they care so much about go home. I can't say enough good things. I really can't. So Kristen and John met a few dogs. There were some, you know, things about each. One ruled himself out with a dog test with another dog. Another one was just way too energetic for two little old seniors, and you'll be seeing more about him because I'm gonna try to help promote him a little more. He was a beautiful brindle Adonis, he really was, but just way too high energy. And while Kristen and John, you know, really wanted a male, you know, the balance and all that, I get it. They opened their heart and their mind to a female that had been sitting in a cage in the hallway. Poor thing had some, you know, lumps removed, so she had stitches, but she was just like a trooper laying there so calm. And she caught Kristen's eye, and Kristen said, okay, let's meet her. Well, let's get those adoption pictures up. There you go, Kristen and John, and bless Mike's heart, and welcome to the family, Daisy. And of course, I love that name because I had a Daisy. And there's, I think, another picture of her at home. And, you know, it didn't take long. It didn't take long, Zach's laughing. It didn't take long for her to settle in up on the couch, and she looks like she's going to be a remote hog as well. But yeah, she's just so wonderful, and Kristen is so happy. And you know, it's that whole feel-good thing of it was a special day. It took a long time. Kristen wasn't going to give up. Mike wasn't going to give up. You know, we didn't make that trip for them not to come home with a dog. You know, meeting all the people that I met was a bonus, but really just, you know, John, Mike, it was a match made in heaven. They really worked it. I know John and Mike were in touch throughout the process, and John had to go and then come back, so we got to see him again, and he got to see Daisy jumping in the car for the ride home. Just an amazing day. So I can't tell you enough how happy it was. It was a long day. It was an exciting day. Nothing like it to see, you know, animals go home. And I really enjoyed being able to go through the kennels, and I got to see the dogs that I've had up on the show. I got to see the dogs that I see the pictures of all the time. You know, looking at their faces, some I recognized by face. There were some I recognized, you know, I saw their name. I'm like, oh my God, that's you. I mean, you know, it was really cool. I was telling Zach just before airtime, I'm like, and you were on the show, and you were on the show, and you were on the show. I mean, just, I don't know. I'm like blithering because it's really exciting to me. But, you know, this is what it's all about. Anyway, I'll take the camera back for a second. And so because I'm on my Tohas high, tonight's dogs will all be from the town of Hempstead Animal Shelter. And as I said, the one that was just too high energy, Max, we're going to have more on him. Must be something about the name, because my Max is like way high energy too, but he's a little turkey. And there was another dog that I didn't get all the information that would make sense to present, but there was a lab. She was so sweet. Been there a while, in her crate or in her kennel, and you know, labs, Goldens, you know, they like to carry stuff. Well, she had her blanket, and she was carrying her blanket around the kennel. It just broke my heart. They were walking her when we were leaving, and you know, I was like, who was that? I forgot her name, but we're gonna get her out there too because she deserves it. Anyway, so on to tonight's dogs. We've got Midnight. And Midnight is a sweet senior at about 7 years old. And Midnight is patiently waiting for a forever home. Midnight is very friendly, knows lots of commands, and is house and crate trained. And, you look at that face, okay, so you want to say November's Adopt a Senior Month. It should be Adopt a Senior Month every month, every day, but we'll leave it at that. Midnight, just such a sweet face, really needs to be in a home. No dog should be in a shelter, but, the seniors, they kill me the most. So if you are interested in finding out more about Midnight, 516-785-5220. That's 516-785-5220. Next up, we have Dexter. Look at Dexter. Dexter looks like such a clown. He lived with his one and only family for a year and a half, and he was dumped at the shelter when the people moved, leaving poor Dexter devastated. I just can't imagine, first of all, moving and not taking your animals, and second of all, how an animal must feel, just like to be left with strangers and to watch their people walk away, and how long does it really take them to stop looking? I don't think they ever do, until they're happy again in another home. And if they're sitting in a shelter, obviously that's not the case. Anyway, so Dexter knows commands. He enjoys baths, brushing, car rides, and having a home. So if you're interested in finding out more about Dexter, Dexter has his own Facebook page, Help Dexter and His Friends, or you can call the Town of Hempstead Animal Shelter at 516-785-5220. Once again, 516-785-5220. Next up, we have Zoe. Okay, so Zach's struggling in there for whatever his reasons. We'll leave it at that. So Zoe is a 3.5-year-old Cane Corso who was dumped because suddenly her family had no time for her. Oh, people, don't get a dog if you're not going to stick with it. She's lived with other dogs, large and small, a cat, and kids. So Zoe's pretty well-rounded. She's been a little shy and nervous at the shelter, but, it's a busy, crazy environment in a kennel, in a shelter. It really is. It's not home, and it's not your territory. So how can it be anything but a little scary, even for a big dog like Zoe? So Zoe has her own Facebook page, and it's Simply Amazing Zoe. Or you can call the shelter, 516-785-5220, 516-785-5220. Next up, and she's gorgeous. I'm sorry. She is just absolutely like that big, smushy face, gorgeous dog. Next up, we have Gucci. And Gucci is gorgeous. He's a gorgeous guy who ended up at the shelter when the new baby came. I guess little ones make him a little nervous, but he's fine with, teens and up. Not all dog children relationships are great ones, and a lot of it sometimes is the people's fault. But I don't know, so I can't really say that, but I did anyway. Gucci is interested in meeting other dogs, is house trained, and knows commands. Gucci has a Facebook page, and it's Gucci Needs a Home. And you can check Gucci out there, or 516-785-5220. I'm going to be saying this in my sleep tonight. 516-785-5220. Next up, Zach's favorite of the bunch, Ruckus. Look at this dog. Look at how gorgeous he is. Come on. He's a 3-year-old stunner who loves to play ball, enjoys the kiddie pool, loves to lay in the grass, and is dog and people friendly. Look at him wanting to just get some action in the toy box there, chilling in the grass. He's gorgeous. He's a good dog. He needs to go home. He's a real head turner, and now that's not the reason why, you should be adopting him. You should adopt him because he's the right fit for you. But, wow, just look at him. So his page is Adoptable Shelter Buddies, and you can call 516-785-5220, 516-785-5220 if you would like to pursue adopting Ruckus. Next, we have another senior, and that's Elvis. Elvis is about 8 years old. He's cat friendly. He's good with dogs his size. He's very affectionate, walks nicely on a leash. He's house trained and knows commands. Come on. Perfect. Poor Elvis has been in and out of the shelter, it seems like his whole life. The poor guy has spent, so much time in and out as a stray in between adoptions, and then due to landlord issues. Come on, this poor guy, he deserves a final forever home that will love and protect and cherish him for the family member that he deserves to be. So again, Adoptable Best Friends is his Facebook page that you can find him on, or you can call 516-785-5220. Next up is a really special girl, and her name is Carrie. Look at her face. She's just so pretty. She's about 3 years old, and she was found alone in an abandoned house. I love this picture. It looks like a photo booth shoot, and she's got like all the faces to go with it. I mean, this is amazing. So yeah, she was found in an abandoned house in September of 2017. So she's been waiting for over a year to find a home. Come on, people. She's got the kind of love to give that heals broken hearts. She walks well on a leash. She gets along well with other dogs with, slow intros. You got to take it easy sometimes, not throw dogs together too fast. She even passed her cat test, which is awesome. She's a great dog who should be in a home and not waiting for one. And I know that, she is very special to John, and, he's going to miss her, but he would rather see her in a home because that's what it's all about. That's love. So if you want to check her out, there's a couple pages you can see her on. There's one, Magical Mikey helping his shelter friends, but then she has her own page, Carrie Needs a Superhero. And, if you want to give a call, I'm sure you can say it with me at this point, 516-785-5220. That's 516-785-5220. Now, I can tell you that I'll take run through everybody again, and I'll talk for a minute, and then once you run through them again, I'll take the camera back. I can tell you that, all of these dogs deserve homes. Every dog is going to have some special nuance that, it's not cookie cutter perfect. I don't understand people who think animals should be perfect. They've had past lives. They've been in a shelter. The shelter kind of wears on these dogs. Some of them are a little different when they come out and they went in. Some are better. Some have some more behaviors because they've been out of the home environment. But with over 100 dogs, there's no way you won't find a dog in the whole place that wouldn't be able to come home with you, okay? I mean, there's just no way. So if you can't adopt, you can foster. If you can't foster, you can share. All it takes is one set of eyes, the right set of eyes, to see a dog and be like, yep, that's my dog. That's the situation that I need. That's the home I can provide. So don't be afraid to share the dogs, please, on Facebook. Just don't. It's amazing how much it does and how far it goes. And Town of Hempstead Animal Shelter has a little program where you can sign up to promote a dog. You can pick one that needs that little extra special push. I've done it before. You know, I helped with Diesel. That's how I got connected with Chrissy. Back the first one I did, there was Lucas, there was Buddy. You know, there's been a few dogs that, you know, I've tried to help that way. And, you know, that's why all these dogs have Facebook pages, because people do that in order to try to help, you know, get a little exposure for them, promote them. You know, you connect with somebody on the ground there who walks the dog, who knows the dog, who can give you information, and you take care of posting it on the page. You know, you share the pictures, you make up little, you know, blurbs. You know, if you are ever unsure about, you know, you kind of want to do it, but you don't know how to run a page, there's any number of people, including myself, that will help you. You know, it's so rewarding to be able to post these dogs and you know, try to get people to engage. And there are so many ways that you can be creative, and there's so many people who are more creative than me. So if you feel like you want to help, you're too far away, you can't go down there, you know, you'd love to walk the dogs, but you just can't, you could do a Facebook page for one of them. You could be instrumental in trying to find a dog a home. And that in itself is so rewarding. I can't express it enough. But anyway, I just have to say, everybody I've met, everybody there is just so wonderful. Thank you guys. Keep up the fabulous work. You know, I hope you have just so many more adoptions. One of the dogs whose face I just loved went home after we left, and that made me really happy. You know, because adoptions is what it's all about. You want to see these dogs go home. They're not going to let them go home with anybody. They're going to really try to make sure that they have the right match for both you and for the dog, especially, because no one wants to set a dog up to fail. It's just not the way things should roll. So anyway, on that note, I am going to say peace, love, and dogs. Until next time, thank you very much for watching, and good night.